It's interesting, Kieran Maguire there, by the way. He mentioned Tammy Abraham, who's moved, I think, to Besiktas, or he's on his way to Besiktas for around £15 million. And you just sort of wonder whether one or two Premier League clubs might not have cast an eye back over him.
Yeah.
Well worth it at one stage, England international. Scores a lot of goals.
Yeah. It's interesting, though. I think the point, obviously Kieran's a good listen, about, I think clubs, and he mentioned Chelsea, clubs will continue to look to bend the rules. I think, I wouldn't say they're duty bound to, well, I probably would say they're duty bound. They're duty bound to exploit every avenue they possibly can, which will help the club. And I think they're duty bound to do that. But it's interesting. They're selling the hotels and all that kind of stuff, Jeff. It kind of makes a mockery, I think, a little bit, the whole situation.
Well, I think the other thing as well is, the incentive for clubs to sell their academy players.
That's what
because it's pure profit. Every fan wants to see a local kid come through and play for the first team.
Of course they do.
That's what every fan wants. But unfortunately, they're being denied that opportunity now down to finances, basically.
The irony is not lost on me at all. And yet you're absolutely 100% correct to mention one thing football fans want: they want to see their own coming through.
Yeah. More on the day's biggest transfer news now. Let's join talkSPORT's transfer reporter Ollie Clink. Morning, Ollie.
Morning, Ollie.
Morning, gents. How you doing?
We're in good form, mate. We're in good form. What have you got for us this morning?
Well, yeah, I obviously just been hearing you talk about that Joao Pedro move. The fee we think is going to be around 55 million, with 5 million in add-ons. And Chelsea are actually hoping to wrap this up before July the 3rd so that he can play at the Club World Cup. So we might see Joao Pedro in those latter stages of the competition. I did hear you, Ali, talking about the fact that you don't quite think he's going to take Chelsea to that next level.
Yes.
And this feels like a bit of a blow for Newcastle, this, because we were reporting that Joao Pedro was one of their top targets this summer. But do you actually think Newcastle maybe shouldn't be too bothered about missing out, especially when you think about that fee for him?
Well, it's a funny one. And I'm more than happy to get proved wrong in this one, Ollie. I just think I didn't think it had the absolute wow factor that said, that I said to Jeff, that says, right, this is a signing that's going to make everybody shut. We're going to be serious league contenders. I think Chelsea, I'll be honest, I think it did an excellent season last year. You take everything into account, and maybe I'm just looking for too much. I think he's a good player. I've seen him. I saw him a good few times last year. I think he won against Manchester United at home right early on the start of the season. But I'm not sure he's going to be the difference. And I'm not sure he'd have been the difference at Newcastle either. I think he probably improved the side slightly at both teams, but I'm not sure he's going to make that massive difference.
If I'm in Newcastle now, this is off the top of my head, it's going to be blindingly obvious, actually. He's not exactly the same player, but if I'm Newcastle, I'm looking at Jack Grealish and thinking what a job he can do for us, and I have no idea how much it's going to cost. Obviously, he comes with big wages. Presumably, though, Ollie, Chelsea are going to have to sell because they've got Joao Pedro, Gittins is coming in, and you add to that Liam Delap, and then Jackson, Madueke, Neto, Cole Palmer, and Kunku. There've got to be a couple of them at least on their way out, haven't there?
Yeah, let me just add Tariq George, Mark Guiu, Santos, Esteval, Enzo Fernandez plays in that position. They've still got Sterling, they've still got Felix on the books. So you're right, Jeff. Because I think the issue as well, heading into next season for Enzo Maresca, is last season he had the Conference League where he could play a completely different 11, so you could keep some of those players quite happy. This time around, they're in the Champions League. He's going to have to be playing a very strong 11, if not a first 11, every single time they go out. So keeping a lot of those players happy is going to be very, very difficult. Obviously, some of them are there that are youngsters, like you were mentioning. They're not exactly being brought in to go straight into the first team. But yeah, to be fair though, like Kieran Maguire says, they are quite good at selling Chelsea, and people do tend to forget that. So it might be that they get some off the books, but a headache there, I think, in a lot of positions for Enzo Maresca.
Ollie, brilliant. Sorry it was so short. Time is against us. Thanks very much indeed.
Thanks, Ollie. All the best, mate.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.